Get excited, brothers, as we open our spellbooks to maximum phallus, electric entertainment to follow as the heavens piss wet justice. We charm pets, we rescue sweet maidens, and heroic sacrifices are made. Unfortunately, many times against our will. Clutch your staff for a video as emotional as it is moist. Epic entrances, epic bugs, epic graffiti, and some epic luck. So put on your murder face as I finally hit the endgame and raise a bloody storm. Hello, I'm Storm Cruise. Now look, I am dressed as a woman, but don't let that throw you off. What am I doing? I'm playing in the Second Wind private server. This was set up by Talkative Try, Guitaraholic, Lolacol, but I'm not here for friends. I'm here for bounties. What are bounties? Cash prizes, and that's what I'm after.
Nice.
Some of them were pretty spicy. Now this is the one that really got me inspired. Thunderstorm and killing Atziri. I've never killed Atziri in this game. I'm going to do it in the most suboptimal way possible. So the real question is, what could possibly go wrong? Nothing. Top left, you'll see how far people are getting through the campaign versus me. I made the mistake of having dinner first. This is not an optimum strategy to speedrun for a bounty. You can eat and sleep and go to the toilet after you finish the game. So look, Spark is our opening gambit here. We don't have access to Thunderstorm until quite a bit later. So as soon as we get access, I'll be switching into that, of course. And someone I just saw there is already level 24. It's not looking good for us. I didn't realize how fast some people can do this, but I do definitely regret having any dinner because there was a bit of a queue as well to get in. So I'm a little late, but I have beaten beer and got the head of the Winter Wolf there, and we'll carve our way through some mudmen with our increased frost resistance now. And look at this, level 3 already. Someone at this point is probably about 25. We are going to take on the Devourer. I have watched recently a speed running, I think it was the Awesome Games Done Quick speed run. So I'll implement a few of those. But guys, as for any of you who've watched any of my videos, I take my time. Sometimes not optionally. I just, I take my time. But this is a beautiful game to spend some time with you with. So let's just enjoy it. And I'm really looking forward to using Thunderstorm because, man, it looks incredible. And I've got some ideas of how we can scale the late game damage, so we'll see how that pans out. Devourer done, DPS looking strong, let's be honest. And we're going for Zenith. That's 30% more damage when we're above 90% mana, which as you can see, I'll always be above 90% mana because I'm so good at optimizing. I'm just showing you here what it would look like if I wasn't doing that. So I'm doing these Vile Temples, you can see here just within the maps, there's these little runic circles, and as you complete them as you go through, they get lit up. When they all get lit up, then we can enjoy ourselves and go into the Vile Temple itself. And that's something we can build a map, which we'll get all into. I am now more of an expert, having got to the end of this, than I was at the beginning. So bear with me as I learn a lot of these mechanics, sometimes in the most frustrating way. But at least for you, it's heavily edited. So underneath the boss's name there, you can see there's that little bar. And as that builds up, there's like a stun meter. We seem to be timing that quite well with every boss we're encountering at the moment, getting a decent stun in before the end, which is helping to optimize that last part of the fight. No drama whatsoever. Rarely in any danger in this game, I'll be honest. What we do have is a nice little staff upgrade there, which actually gives us a lightning bolt skill as well. So it's quite nice that some of the weapons... Oh my god, I can't believe someone's level 29. But we're trying out lightning bolt here. This is innate to the staff that we've got. The damage, as with many lightning skills in these ARPGs, is very variable. So we want to be really maximize that damage as much as possible because there's always a good chance we're going to be hitting 1 rather than the max damage there. I'm not loving the skill, I'll be honest. It seems very slow. I'm sure there'll be a way to optimize it later on, but this seems to be less DPS than Spark in many ways, just because it's sat a single target. There's a little bit of a radius around it, but it's very, very narrow, so we're only really hitting the target we're trying to hit. I think we can probably sit here and just tank this. I'm confident, although they've got these little northern boys throwing rocks. Next plan is really going to be optimizing as much damage as we can. Concentrated area seems like a pretty logical one, and I think we'll put most of our gems there into lightning bolt rather than spark. Oh my god, someone's in the jungle ruins. Yeah, well, I'm almost past the first quarter of Act 1. I just don't. I mean, look, I know they're running in the most optimal way, and they're also playing builds that aren't reliant on lightning skills only. But it is very impressive. I mean, I'm in no way interested at this point in my life whatsoever in doing this game as quickly as I can, but I definitely get the appeal, and I love watching people who are able to complete the games, especially like Souls games, stuff like that. Now I've played a lot of the Souls games, I'm so much better at being able to just, like, I can appreciate that once you know the level, you can run through it pretty quickly. We're literally picking up anything rusty in this place. Girdles, dildos, whatever's on the floor. Is it rust? It's definitely brown. That's too much. Sorry. I've lost half the audience already. I'm not going to pretend. It's not going to be more like that. The high heels of the Rust King, squelching in the sodden mud and blood. Now, my first great strategy here was ignore the ads, because the problem is this lightning skill is so poor. But unfortunately, for some reason, I don't know what happened there. Must be some server lag, but I took a huge amount of damage from one of his attacks. Probably because I just took it face first. But we're moving on now. We've got a level 3 skill gem to Orb of Storms. I've only got a few hundred hours in this game now, but I was trying to work out why I can't. Oh yeah, that's right. I need to actually put it in a skill slot. Yeah, expect me to get better as the game goes on. I played a lot of Diablo 2 recently, but I love coming back to this game because it's just got so much content. It's so fresh. And there's, oh my god, did you see that little speed running trick there? If you run back and roll forwards twice, then you can kind of skip past the singing sequence, which is actually a bit of a shame because it's quite cool, that. Damage is now looking very, very good. And let's go up against the Eco Warrior and see how this damage pans out. Now, unfortunately, the Orb of Storms, as we put it down, doesn't really seem to do anything. I think when I attack, it does an additional attack, which is a lot of micro for someone of my skill, but we'll make it work. I'm getting pretty used to this fight now, so like a lot of the skills I can just avoid. And that one, I'm like, even if I end up in that cabbage patch in the middle, I'll be fine. So here's another little speed run. Monster level 9 in the Tomb of the Consort. But I can zip, where is it? Okay, and then you can zip back. You can make a new instance, because I think what happens is one of them normally comes in at one level, then you go to the other one and it's one level higher. But if you switch across from one to the other and then go back to the original, then it'll just up the level of the creatures in there. And that just helps just to optimize the level of the creatures that you're fighting. I feel like I know what I'm talking about. It's only because someone told me, I promise. But look at this, cash. And unfortunately, because it's a new server completely, I'm naked without my my cash. So my cash that I've got here is all the cash I've got. Nice, decent little armor. Oh, are you kidding me? Look at that, straight in the cloak. I probably wouldn't have survived without that sweet cloak on, to be honest. Now, I seem to be doing myself a disservice here against these Eternal Knights and attacking them head on. I did think it was quite interesting that you could hit them from above with a lightning bolt and it would still reflect it. And in the shop here, we've got a level 3 lightning bolt, and it seems worth just upping. The DPS will be massively improved just from that additional level. We've gone from a level 1 to a level 3 lightning bolt skill. I can't believe while I'm doing this, someone's in King's March. Why can I not be that quick? It's better to take your time. And someone's, wow, 38. I shouldn't get distracted too much because I'm kind of encouraging you just to look at the text on the left. Yeah, well, I wonder, maybe I should follow GFFF. I mean, you spent a lot of time thinking of that. Now, the trick to fighting Dave is just don't get hit. It's more complicated than that, but that's me getting hit quite a lot and actually getting hit so much. I'm just showing you what it'd be like if you were to get hit quite a lot. As long as you don't run over the ghosts as they come there, it almost doesn't matter if the ghosts hit him and like empower his moves. As long as you've got a decent amount of distance, you really want to be dodging away from him rather than just around him because of those sweeping attacks. And I end up, for whatever reason, going to the next tomb, finding the boss again, and then be like, what? Dave again? And I'd realised that in my infancy of trying to work out how to optimize the speedrun, I accidentally just did the same tomb twice. Did it matter? Well, a little bit, because I was like, oh, am I going to get anything? And I got this absolute legendary item. We've also got that unique amulet, which gives some decent life and rarity of items. And then Death Rattle is our twig focus. Energy shield's okay for this point. Spell damage, 38% spell damage is very nice. Unfortunately, it means we'd have to replace our staff. So let's hold on to it just for the time being. We'll put it on our offhand and hope to find a one-handed staff or wand in the near future. So Asinia moves before love. Shouldn't be an issue here. My only concern is just getting down maybe to low health and then getting Dave come in and just wombo comboing me. I'm also a bit concerned about the whole little like bone prison she does and whether this lightning bolt's going to be able to actually do any damage to it. Here we go. Oh, comfortable. And actually this is a good opportunity for me to do some damage. That's exactly what I thought would happen. And it did. The rest of the fight went without a hitch entirely. Now, you might be thinking, oh my god, if you've not seen me play before, this guy's actually not very good. There is a truth in that. But there's also the fact that I love editing this and making myself laugh with every time I get hit. So honestly, I promise you I'm not quite as bad as I make it out to be, but I am pretty bad. But it just goes to show, you don't need to be good to be a gamer. Games are meant to be fun. Putting the gay in games, right? Gay being happy, of course. Do you know, I actually would love someone to explain how I'm meant to dodge Lachlan's projectiles. Because he is tough as far as I'm concerned. Like, if he was better buffed, and he can even hit you through that is insane. But this little move here, because he does that slow beforehand. I mean, the whole like Frost Aura here is absolutely brutal. But he, I reckon, could be a really, really difficult fight if you had to do him in a map later. Nice little Ashen Staff there. So we're cracking through these little Val beacons. And we can start building the map. So the map is just built of different tiles. You can place cards based on kind of RNG. It's going to be a learning experience. What is great about it is you can do things like upgrade items to rare. Look at this, 28% extra damage as fire. So some great mods you can get on what was otherwise a plain old boring staff, and we've now got one that does quite a significant amount of extra fire damage. So let's disrupt this hippie nudist kind of sex game that's happening in the woods. I've not really looked into it, but we're going to be making arrests and go against what I think is one of the best bosses in almost any ARPG. It's so cool. It's just such a cool idea for a fight. This giant weird crow creature. And the nice thing about lightning bolt is I've got to chase them down. Damage is very decent as well. We're still using Orb of Storms to kind of like augment. I'll be honest, I never fully understood Orb of Storms. I'm pretty certain anything within that aura will get hit as long as I'm doing some extra damage. I've actually got 2 orbs I can place down now. And it's only later on that I realised that 2 orbs and a lightning strike is about the most phallic a lightning spell I could possibly create. But that's just me. That just comes naturally. And that is a flawless fight there. Never any doubt. 0 damage. And really, like early game, I'm just going to be pushing this spell damage. Pushing towards Potent Incantation for 30% increased spell damage. It's a very decent boost to our overall damage. With the 2 that we got before, it's kind of 50%. Now, there's a lot for me to understand. It took me a long time. The kind of additive, like we've just found on our staff here, that 30% increased damage as fire damage is very, very good. Because that ends up being kind of you can multiply it. But the percentage spell damage, as we're getting there on the skill tree, it's only beneficial up to a certain point. Because it's only really like additive. Oh, lovely cheeky level up. Might use that actually here. Just, I mean, look, 92 DPS. I mean, admittedly at this point, people are probably already mapping, but we're getting through it in our own way. I wanted to like tease the dog out here, but I ended up getting him anyway. And I'm doing my best to kind of avoid him while doing the classic attack and move. You'll be seeing a lot of this attack and move. Oh, wow. And that chill is actually completely lethal. Vargir here. Oh, my. We should have been attacking him. The feral, the fine muff, as he's known. And let's get the only loot box I'll ever be touching. Up we go here to spell effect. Ultimately, we want that royal skill. That increased area will be hugely beneficial, not only for Thunderstorm, but even the skills we've got now. I love this little area here, by the way. Little like blacksmith. I mean, it's the worst blacksmith shop I've ever seen, but it just looked really, really cool when I came across it. Ignore the dead guy in the corner there. He's kind of ruining the ambiance. Play a little bit of footy here. Have it. And this is, at this point, is when I realised, wait, these two balls look like they could be two balls, two blue balls. Why have I not even... Honestly, I'm getting slower in my old age. I'm not that old. I'm old enough to know better. Execution, it seems to be taking quite a lot of damage. I'm just going to get my most accented... That's the bit that made me look... made me realise the glory of what I created here. And then every single attack there was me desperately trying to recreate that moment. We do have an issue that's pretty clear, and it's not the fact that someone has reached level 57, that is insane, but it's the fact that we don't really seem to have any ability to do area damage. Like the Orb of Storms there is just not doing enough. We need to be like hitting creatures while they're in it. I actually am not sure if these creatures give any experience, so I'm pretty certain they don't. Let's just run past them. And let's get up here and let the letters down. Oh, look, can I get him? No, there's something dodgy going on here. So this is exciting because we get a level 5 skill gem from Lettuce. But unfortunately, Thunderstorm, it's a level 5 skill, but you need to be level 14 to use it. So we'll have to keep persevering through this. We're in Twig Land, and it feels like the damage is tailing off quite a lot. These fights were taking quite a long time. I mean, there is a rare hero here, champion. Foul Scalp. But I'm struggling. This shouldn't really be taking this long just to be like... I mean, actually, in fairness, sometimes when it hits pretty hard. But that's not very often. I did really like this kind of ritual beating. The ritual beating. I'm going to say no more. But I actually really like these rituals. And I was really gutted in the campaign that it kind of gave you a taste of them and then you never saw them again. But what I didn't realise is all of these mechanics come back in the maps. What I think they should have done, we'll get into maps later, because that'll be like the last chapter of this. What was incredible, though, is how close all these little ritual areas were together. So I was very grateful for that. Sometimes it can be a bit of a slog, especially with some of the more low DPS builds. It can be a bit of a slog to get through this particular area. We're up against the King in the Mists, who I'm pretty confident about. I've got a feeling he's meant to be very difficult when he's up at higher tier levels, but it feels like a lot of these attacks are pretty predictable. The only issue is the environment you fight him in. It's so difficult to see what's going on. Like here, I'm standing in his attack, so I do kind of deserve to take some damage. I probably don't realise he's as stunned as he is, but we'll just sit here and just take him out now. I mean, it looks like he's died of old age. And we get the Gem Bloom Skull. Phenomenal. And we get the little Spirit Gem. Always surprises me that. So Mana Remnants, look, there's a few other skills I was interested by, but Mana Remnants, which I can barely say, seemed like a really cool one. So I want to give that a go. I actually believe that mana is likely to be an issue in this with this particular build as well. From the minuscule research I did. And I'll be honest, my research was probably about 3 minutes. And some of that was making sure I had good music on while I did it. I'm really not into it. I much prefer just getting in these things and seeing what can happen. So let's cheer ourselves up with some slapstick comedy. What can be better? What? Oh my god. And inspired by the fact that somebody's already got to level 60, I'm going to sprint through this area because I feel like I'm being left behind. Finally, Thunderstorm. So look, it's got Shock. It's got Drenching, whatever that is. Man, it's got AoE and Duration. These are all kind of skills and terms that I've not really played with before, so really looking forward to getting in there. I'm going to try Coursing Current. It seems to like trigger when you shock, and it does it specifically as the word Drench, which is something that Thunderstorm does automatically, so let's lean into that. Let's try Overabundance and see, because that does give us 2 casts of half the time, but I think as enemies like move around, they're unlikely to be standing still. I'm not really that tanky to be able to just sit still at the moment. But man, I mean, look, YouTube is going to absolutely kill this with compression. But I've got to say, Thunderstorm looks absolutely incredible. The guy's GGG. Absolutely cooked for this one. Now, you might be asking, eagle-eyed among you might be asking, well, why are you using Orb of Storm still? But the good thing is you're so easily distracted that we've got another Vaal Temple. So we're going to be just cracking this open. We've got to just do as many of these as possible. They're a great source of currency. They're a great source of experience, actually, something I really came to appreciate later on in this run. And here we go. We've got some nonsense. Oh my god. It's Fleshbind. I owe him some money. Fleshbind has the less than prestigious title of being one of the only bosses that when I first fought him managed to hit me with every single attack. He's just one of those creatures that are like designed to make you roll a little bit earlier than you should do. And yeah, now of course he's got nothing on me. Very unlikely he's going to even scratch me ever again. As you can see, not a not a scratch. Oh, here we go. That's it. That's the it's big boy stuff. Now this isn't super useful for us, but Iron Will is actually pretty interesting. It's nice to have that bit of like jump up in armor and evasion at this point, but we are getting some spell damage from strength here. I'll be honest, I didn't think of that as part of like a viable damage increase for this build, but I should have done. I think the problem is when you get drops quite early on, you just look forward to getting rid of them and like upgrading. You got to feel like the numbers are going up. And if you stick, as I do with some of these, like sometimes you get best in slot quite early when you trade. It just seems a shame to stick with the same thing. I want to see the numbers go up. Bit of negative micro there. That's where I'd would have been better off standing still. Interesting. Countermass, very cool, by the way. I can't believe the first time I played this game, I missed this guy completely. Especially because he's got such a good bonus in that extra life. And there's some absolute nonsense going on. So we are at 68%. Oh no. Gary spilt the tomato soup again. Lovely little moment there. Little moment. I like the way it's illuminated as well. Let's clean that up with a thunderstorm. We probably need to be a little bit careful here. Actually, I think the damage is very good. I mean, this is without Orb of Storms. Well, not that I'd be using that anymore, but you know. We're looking for that extra level up just before we go in. And we can unlock Royal now as well, which means we get that increased area of effect. We are reducing our damage marginally. It's not a huge amount, but I think the additional area of effect will be able to cover a lot more of the boss arena as we be spending our times running away. Love the camera zoom out there. Can't believe someone's in the abyssal depths. Actually, that seems... I'm sure that should have happened a bit earlier, but maybe you can only get there once you've done a number of abysses. I'm not sure. So we've got Count Cucula here. And he's getting rained upon. We'll put Orb of Storms at... You might be asking yourself, why are you still using Orb of Storms? But the best thing about Count Cucula is the fact that he's got that extra stage of the fight. I'm going to keep trying to do that. I don't think any of them have worked yet, but we'll keep going. Now, the first stage looks like it's going very, very well, by the way. We're doing very decent damage. I'm not loving when he turns into a little wolf boy, especially because I know he summoned some other guys here as well. We don't have a huge amount... As if that's going to hit me, guys. Come on. First stage, we shouldn't worry about... Oh my god, that is really, really bad. Okay, so we really have to be careful about a chill build up here, because that is... could be very easily run ending. Unfortunately now, as some people end up in maps, we're just going to get endless messages of people getting to certain maps for the first time. But second stage, no great drama. We still have to be very careful of that chill build up though. And that, I mean, I actually think our frost resistance is just super low. We seem to be taking an inordinate amount of damage. Let's just try and keep the spells going. I'm hoping basically there's a bit of a synergy here with Orb of Storms and the amount of times that lightning strikes. As long as he remains in and around that area, he should be getting struck pretty consistently. And I'm hoping actually we can kill some of these guys. Now look, this is another like, I just can't get the timing down here at all. So I do it now. Yeah, I think I did okay then. Now? No, too soon. I did it there as well. Yeah, I don't think this... I don't think timing's for me. I think let's just just get hit and we'll make it through. The nice thing about this is it does replenish a lot of your potions, all these little adds. I think that's part of the reason why they've added this in. And here we go. The damage here racking up. That is very decent. Oh, this absolutely terrifies me. I just don't want to get chilled. I mean, you can see the chill build up there in the top left. It was almost max with that one hit. Yeah, so getting hit even more than once here is absolutely lethal. We do not want to have to do this fight again, because it's a long one for a start. Not in a good way. My plan for this build is to kind of do a bit of a hybrid between health and energy shield, but I'm finding that during a lot of these fights, maybe it's just because I don't have a lot of like energy shield recharge rate, things like that, and the energy shield isn't huge, that by the time the energy shield starts going down, I'm in trouble. I've only really got that health pool to rely upon. I'm not going to get not hit again in the near future. But when Cucula stands still, man, absolutely ruined. And that, my friends, is not the way you speedrun the first act. But it is over and done with. And I don't know many people who've used Thunderstorm only. Not even using Orb of Storms. I mean, I'm using it here just to show you what it looks like, in case you miss it. But yeah, look, so I mean, I'm making a joke of it, but I'm going to use Orb of Storms. I'm actually not sure how much additional damage it did. It seemed to, like, the tooltip said it did quite decent extra damage. But my only real goal here is to kill Atziri, which is basically getting through those vile temples. And once we get to the very end, and honestly, it's going to be a while from now. So there's another little tip you can use in this area as well to find the way to the boss, and it's just following that particular little map tile. It's got to look like that. I think the guy described it as a piece of spaghetti. What's interesting is, I mean, I watched the video some time ago now. I've almost completely forgotten now doing this voiceover what the actual, what the other one looks like. But let's not worry myself too much about that. It's not like anyone's counting on me to do this quickly. So Wrathbreaker here could be a bit of a pain. Just because I don't really want those ads to be coming in. I feel a little squishier than usual. Maybe I'm just a normal level rather than over-leveled, which I have been in some of my other challenge runs. When I did this with kind of skeleton only, it always felt like I was kind of quite safe. And the damage honestly seemed really, really good. That's a great fun build. If anyone's looking for like just a bit of a challenge, a bit of a silly one to do, then skeleton was really, really good fun. Really enjoyed it. If you add in the other skeleton types as well, you actually probably have a real blast. Punch only, I really wouldn't recommend, unless, I don't know, you make YouTube videos, in which case it might be worth doing. But yeah, that taught me more about this game than any other build. But not all good. No, it was great fun. I really enjoyed it. I think it's the first time I did Act 4 as well. I'm really looking forward to, at some point, going back to a Thorns build. And look, there's some really good spell damage here, area damage. But we have to come all the way around. I think for the time being, again, I'm less worried about optimizing this. Just keep pushing spell damage. Oh, look at this. I wonder if this is like concept art that they had for the area beforehand. And they were like, oh, we'll just make it look a bit grubby and stick it on the wall. But these definitely are sketches for something. I couldn't really, when I looked at that, work out if any of these were like particular to this area. They didn't really look like it, but... So Vile Beacon here, once again. The nice thing about them is it kind of adds another, I mean, it might not do, someone might correct me immediately, but these beacons do kind of, not only is the chest very good, but the rare creatures and stuff you get from them, it's just great extra experience. Running the temple itself is just a little bit too repetitive for my liking. And in many ways, I actually like the idea of them resetting it after a while, but I think you should be able to like rebuild it with your pack of cards every time. And look at this bridge. Annoyingly, I can't zoom in properly because of Path of Exile 2 refuses to let you zoom in without like a sweeping angle. We do have a bit of an issue up against Roger with our fire resistance. 1% fire resistance is not advised, but the chance of me getting hit, so slim. Come on. Plus, we've got almost like, it feels like a counterspell to a flamethrower wielding maniac will be a light drizzle. I mean, I actually, despite having played this for a huge amount of my life, you'll get to see at the end how long this whole thing took me. But at no point did I get bored with how Thunderstorm looks and sounds. Maybe you might be there already. I'm like, I must have looked at this a lot, but it just looks so good. Damage doesn't seem great still. I can see it like ticking up. It's nice that when you cast multiple storms, it does hit more than once. So we are hitting like a lot of times, but the damage is really, really like little tiny chip damage, really. The problem with a lot of these games and chip damage is so much armor and stuff and resistance gets taken into account when you're not doing big hits. And I really do like the fact that the sprint... I'd be interested to understand if the sprint mechanic was added as a, oh, maybe we should add this in, or whether it was always planned from the start. A lot of these bosses, some of their mechanics seems trivialized by the sprint mechanic. Annoyingly, we can't get Thunderstorm up. We need to be level 18. Not too long to wait for that, though, don't worry. One of my favorite areas here, not only the motes of dust, which I think are just exceptional. Oh, I wish you wouldn't clip the just as I'm saying, it looks exceptional. This whole area looks, man, looks so good. What's weird is I don't love Act 2. Like, Act 1 I think is very, very decent in this game. Very cool. I prefer it to Act 1 in the original Path of Exile, which I've been trying to do a build in that. And it is really, really well put together. Act 2, I feel in this game drags a little bit. And it's, despite the aesthetic being almost preferred, Diablo Act 2, I think, just does it better. So Thunderstorm up, finally. We get a massive, from 1 to 16 to 1 to 20. Wow, it's getting out of hand already. We're going to keep pushing strength, just because a lot of the skill gems seem to need strength as the stat that we're missing more than anything. And that extra health is very decent. We've actually taken off our armor, which added in that extra spell damage, but not too worried about that, because it wasn't a huge amount more. We're not going to do more than an extra when you're only doing 1 to 20 damage. Luckily, we are hitting quite a few times. Now, Babala, I've got some bad memories about. Oh my gosh, that is close. Yeah, you just need to not get hit. That is easier said than done for me. One thing I found that was very difficult is actually timing when to cast spells and when to dodge. I really need to be dodging like a lot. And so I questioned it with someone before. I said, you know, the dodge seems a little overpowered, but the argument is every time you're dodging, you're not dealing damage like dealing DPS. So the benefit of this is as long as we can get the spell down, the spell kind of manages itself. So we can spend the rest of the time playing Dark Souls 3. Nice, and that was maybe a lot tougher than I wanted it to be. I don't know if Babala's got some resistances I've not been made aware of, but definitely challenging. Let's get Asala to join us here, because she's a little bit of a... She does a little bit of DPS, and she's a great kind of bullet sponge. A little bit more careful here than I'm actually being. I've got to say, the experience here is pretty good. I mean, I'm not level 77, like some guy is. But the packs here were absolutely huge. So you can see, like, just this attack. I'll highlight the experience bar so you can see how much fun I was having, but that is exceptional. You can see there the rooms getting removed each time we kind of open the temple up. Now, my plan was kind of build a ridiculous snake, while at the same time trying to not. I do want to make the most of this whole, like, Atziri map building, temple console kind of stuff. So I'm going to try and run this as many times as I humanly can. And I'm going to learn a huge amount along the way. But mainly, like, the items, guys, are just ridiculous. I don't know if this is fantastic. I mean, it's nice to have that energy shield recharge. Ah, see, it's not great. The wand I've got is not great, but I am enjoying the fact that I've got that extra spell damage from my focus. So my unique focus we picked up earlier. Early game, I think, is a lot about experimenting. You shouldn't really get too hung up on items. There are certain games that you can get really, like, hung up. I think Titan Quest was one of those which, you know, the inventory and drops really, like, took away from the game. And I spent a lot of time, like, umming and ahhing about very, very small number differences. And it really just didn't enjoy myself as much as I could have done if I'd maybe sat back and relaxed a bit more. So I'm going to take that attitude with this now. Jamanra actually is not looking like this is going to be very easy. I'm guessing because Jamanra's just general skill set, especially in its final fight, is this kind of yellow lightning version. So maybe her lightning resistance, or his lightning resistance. I'm actually not sure. Jamanra? Jaman? I mean, I'm reading it now. The Risen King. There is a clue. These days, who knows? I'm not judgy. I'm not judgy. I'm Tom Cruise. Storm Cruise. It's a really, like, the more I say Storm Cruise, the more I like it. I actually legitimately think it's a better version of his name. Finally, Jamanra bites the dust for the first time. That is not looking like we're going to have a great fun at the end of this, though, I'll be honest. At level 22. Oh, we're very close, actually, to level 22, so... We found this, like, oh, do you know what? I'm actually really tempted by a plant build next. Unfortunately, I think the plant build is going to be quite similar to this one. It shares a lot of the skill tree. And the wolf only run that I did as well, I've got a feeling that kind of druid skill set that we probably want to start as a druid just to get the closest to the plant skills on the skill tree. I've just got a feeling they will be a little bit too much a crossover, and I'd like to do something a little bit different. Ideas for runs, always welcome. I get inspired very quickly, so please chuck them over, put them in the comments, let me know over Discord, message me over email, whatever it needs to be. Pretty good spell damage is basically where I thought I've got a big brain. So this is why I'm thinking we can make some real gains. The triggered spells are going to be big on Thunderstorm. I'll get into some of the skills that are going to help with that. But yeah, I'm going to go big brain because I honestly think it could be very, very strong at the end. One of the things I never do, by the way, is look at any guides because I think it ruins the game. That has been more of a challenge on certain runs than others. So yeah, but it's not the optimal journey. It's just my journey. So thanks for being here with me. Now the real plan here, because actually this first stage isn't too bad. Part of me is thinking, let's just try and take these guys down at the same time. It's difficult to manage the kind of Ornstein and Smo type, you know, multiple bosses at the same time. But actually this worked out really well. I find the second stage maybe a little bit more tense. Oh, sorry. Sorry, I'm a bit embarrassing there. Sorry, I left you alive. Well, straight up to 24 as well, level 7. I'm hoping that's going to get, though some of those numbers are going to get slightly more intimidating because they're looking worse than punch only at this point. I think the benefit is because I've got 2 of those storms going, we are actually hitting quite often. And this was actually the first Abyss. This is another thing, like I heard a lot of criticism about Abyss. I think anytime I hear criticism it's because people who play this game too much don't like the fact that enough isn't dropping versus the time they're putting into it. And just play something else, dude. This is really cool. I really like the Abysses, I've got to say. And I really like going into the Abyss. I kind of wish the Abyss was a bit tougher. I think it should be really, really scary and intimidating. But yeah, and I get it. I mean, look at this Abyssal Trove, which I almost missed. I was like, I got a gnawed rib. What am I supposed to do with that? Oh, and look at this. You know, this actually might be one of the first times I've ever found this. We're going to need that extra lightning resistance. That's quite a nice little pickup. It's just, honestly, finding unique items. It's just such fun. Look at this. This really reminds me of one of the DLCs for Dark Souls 2. And you can't help but love this area. I think it looks so good. And I really like this boss as well. I'm very gushing about this particular part. Just criticizing. I actually think this guy should be the last boss. Or maybe like straight after this, fight Jamanra. I don't think you need like too much more than this. But Zalmarath, I think, could well easily be a final boss for the act, and everyone will be happy. It reminds me a lot more of the like bigger bosses from the original Path of Exile. I haven't played that game for a long time, really, so other than like recently trying out a bit of a run. So I can't remember exactly what those bosses are like, but I just remember there being like bosses on a much bigger epic scale. This really reminds me of one of them. Love the little hand that comes out of his face there as well. It's so cool. Or like opens up on his helmet. It's cool. And the fact that he's like super electrified. It's always nice when you can see his feet down there as well. Seems to be going really well. Damage is pretty consistent. This was probably the worst part of the fight, when I just took a huge amount more damage than I needed to. You might be asking yourself why I'm using Orb of Storms there. No, unfortunately that joke's gone. I cut it. I explained the joke, and I should have carried on doing it. I'm sorry. I'm losing my touch. The real concern was always like the ads in this fight. Actually, they're like, this is the scariest part of the fight. Am I gonna just whiff it the video? And I almost did. But really never in any doubt. Now, Kabbalah, there is always doubt in my heart. Especially if I'm just not doing enough damage. I'm really not doing much damage to her at all. Okay, another one that might just have a huge amount of resistances for whatever reason. But I'm not really doing nearly enough damage. I mean, that's like 30 seconds I've done 2,000 damage. That is not good. So we understand the mechanics well enough to avoid that particular attack. But I'm not sure how easy it's going to be for me to sustain. Mana looks like it might be becoming a bit of an issue as well. I'm out on my mana flask and it's running pretty low. And it's only going to take getting surrounded like that without having the ability to cast another Thunderstorm. Dynamism looks like it's overpowered as far as I'm concerned. 40% extra damage if you've triggered a skill. Now, what am I doing? Coursing Current. Now, I mentioned this before about how it triggers Coursing Current when you hit. And there's a few other skills like that with a trigger within it that we can add to Thunderstorm. Now, try Kabbalah because the reward is just so good for Kabbalah. And I just noped out of there. Sometimes you just got to do that, guys. Just run away. Shock itself as a support gem is 100% more chance to shock. I mean, there's so many good ones here. Gore Mount, gone. Deleted. But there is a way we can get our damage up, which took me a while to realise. Elemental Weakness, of course. It's a curse. It's a very, very mana-intensive curse. But it reduces enemies' resistances by, well, up to minus 59%. At the level we've got it at, minus 47%. So, or is it 46? It's a lot, anyway. We're going to have to use Efficiency 1 there, just because that minus 30% mana cost is important. And I use Spell Echo too. Thunderstorm up to 37 damage. And another Vile Ruins for us to traipse through. At this point, I've got to be honest, I wasn't that excited about it. But I was very excited about getting that Lesser Jeweler's Orb. And that extra slot, we can get Living Lightning. It's a trigger skill. So this actually creates little minion creatures that come out and zip around and do some damage. But the nice thing about the temple, man, is just upgrade all your equipment so significantly. We've got this galvanic field as well on this one-handed wand. It's only a minor increase. There we go. It's only a minor increase. Oh my goodness me.
Nice.
So that's gone from a minor increase to a pretty major one. That +2 skill levels, very nice. And I was ready for a boss here, and then realised it was that, oh, you can select a charm. We actually don't have any fire resistance at the moment, and there's a few little fire things coming up. Namely, this absolute mummy's boy. It probably is quite a sad story, but yeah. You shouldn't be locking your mother up and dehydrating her. One of the first things, one of the first rules of being a good son is don't dehydrate your mother. He is a very cool looking boss, I gotta say. He looks really good. Like, the art alone is great, but the animation in this game is just exceptional. So much to like about that. So I'm hitting that elemental weakness when I can. It is so expensive, and my mana is really suffering. So a lot of this fight was dragged out by the fact that I just didn't have enough mana. I had to wait to cast Thunderstorm again and hope he stayed in the same place. So let's put Mother out of her misery for having a son who's plays a gnome rogue in WoW. The shame. Let's play a sad funeral song. I don't know why. That should not make me laugh. I mean, I've edited that now and had to redo it a few times because it made me laugh so much. Anyway, let's get serious. These two electric birds casting purple bull attacks. Truly, we are in the height of realism right now. This was actually difficult, and I'll be honest, maybe more difficult because they were augmented by or one of them at least was hunted by the raging ox. But yeah, I think the fact they just moved around so much, so there's something to be said for certain bosses who've got high mobility. Gemcutter's Prism here, and that does almost nothing, so it really is pointless. That's real, like, Gem Cutter's Prison is real, like, min-maxing stuff. And we're up this part just for the extra spell damage, and then I completely changed my mind. And remember, I'm going for Echoing Thunder, and all this just general increased elemental damage nearby seems like I'm going to get the best return. I then changed my mind again, really because I want to go shopping. First thing on the list, the Levinstone. Now at this point, I bought this for 3 exalts. This lightning resist, lightning skills, maximum mana, and an increased chance to shock. Probably best in slot for the build that I'm going for at this point. My biggest regret was not buying more than one of them, because at 3 to 5 exalted orbs, by the time I finished this video, they were like 10, 12 chaos orbs. And yeah, I couldn't really sink that much into something that I wasn't really sure was going to do that much more. But yeah, you can see how much better it is fighting Kabbalah with elemental like weakness, those extra skill points we've got, extra pieces of equipment, and our skill points are ours. And the reason why I ended up jumping up this way is because I wanted to get up to this triggered spells deal extra damage. There's a huge part of the skill tree there we can benefit from. And who's this lad? I'll be honest, this particular boss is probably my worst, because you have to fight it so many times. At least, like, I don't know what they could do to change it. Double the speed. But yeah, they have unfortunately relied upon certain creatures more often than not. What is nice with Thunderstorm is you can actually hit from quite far away. Look at this, we are 1 away now. We actually do need to fill that dual slot, but we'll get there after maybe we defeat Torgal, the Defiler. And Dramanra there, showing that he could just fly really high and then just drop something on us from a really high height, and we wouldn't know. I mean, that might be difficult to... maybe he can only fly with a certain amount of weight. But I think that's a good idea, by the way, just dropping rocks from a really high height. Torgal, I think, is the best animated creature I've almost ever seen in my life. It's so cool. One of the interviews with the, like, GGG, I can't remember what they're called, like puppeteers, like the internal riggers, 3D rigger, was just really, really interesting. And I think that tail is so, like, over animated, considering you can't really see it. But I'm always desperate to, like, try and get more of a glimpse of the detail that goes into that. I'm guessing because the ribs have to undulate. But a very easy Torgal fight relative to how easy we've had it in the past. We have here a very nice little focus as well. Spell damage is nice, but the lightning damage is really good too. We've kind of moved on from the unique from the earlier part of the game here. I still have it at my back. Look at this little ballista fight going on here. That's pretty cool.
I think you'll find that's not a ballista. I think you'll find that's a scorpion.
All right. Thanks, Nigel. I've got you here. I'm actually not sure. So feel free to educate me in the chat, because I can't be bothered to look it up right now. But I've got a feeling ballista are much bigger, right? I'm leaning into my Warcraft 2 knowledge here and Age of Empires 2 knowledge. Do you know, I'd love it if any of you guys have got an idea for Age of Empires, an Age of Empires run. I'd love to do a few more strategy. I did Warcraft 1 and really enjoyed it. And here's another scorpion. And a really, really unsafe railing there. No wonder so many people have had some accidents here. Look at that. This bridge needs tensioning as well. I don't think having a bridge with these particular moving vehicles is a good idea anyway. But then again, when it's driven by Scum Tongue. Oh, nice. Another Jeweler's Orb as well. So there are a few, like, different options, I think, for this. Lasting Shock I like the look of. I ended up going for Shock Conduction just because that 50% extra chance to shock enemies in a radius felt like it would have an exponential clearing effect. No, how much? That's 9,000 for that. It is very good, I'll be honest. That and 14% increased damage to lightning skills. And we got that shock as well. And that, like an absolute madman, I thought, you know what? It would actually be quite nice to ascend. Do I have the life and shield? I'm not sure. But I am a decent level for this. I'm over leveled. I honestly recommend being over leveled because I don't love this. If the whole game was like this, fine. It's not. Therefore, this whole honor system, especially as I tried to ascend to later levels, we'll see that later on. Just extremely frustrating mechanic. That, like, RNG part of this is just really not in the spirit of this game at all. RNG for items, fine. RNG for, like, you know, maps to actually create your character, when sometimes you can be lucky and sometimes you can't. I don't know. Didn't sit well with me. Maybe it's because I just need to get good. Rattlecage here is just so nice to fight when you're over leveled. I'm even going to stun him, I think, just before the end, so we can watch him sprawl out and then explode. I think it's probably worth getting a little bit closer, just so we can see it. Oh my god, that's so satisfying. So we do need an upgrade to the amulet. So I think, well, we can hope that one of these will help replace that. We don't have any bronze keys, but we do have silver. Relics? I mean, the fact that it says medium relic makes me kind of want to click on it. Royal shield. Okay, so the royal is gems. I mean, to be honest, the RNG on jewels is so bad. But I can't help myself. And I have no intention of getting any more relics because I don't want to ever do this again. So these are the options for the Ascendancy classes. Storm Cruise. Oh, wow. This looks really interesting, actually. The Disciple of the Disciple one. And this Chronomancer looked cool as well. I'm not really sure if I've got the brain power for that. But Stormweaver, I mean, just wait for it. Shock. 2 shocks at the same time. Yes, please. And actually further down this little area here, there's a few interesting ones here. I mean, the shock is really, really good. All damage from hits contributes to shock chance is really good. And there is a little cheeky little storm augment here as well. But we're going to go for the strike twice here to begin with. I do really like the look of getting down here to grant skill elemental storm. So I think we'll get there eventually. So calm down, because I know that'll probably be the biggest DPS increase, but we don't need it just yet. So look, we hoped for a better amulet. We didn't get one. Back on it goes. Vile ribs here. How do you get a nickname like that? Otherwise lovely, but those ribs. Vile. Oh, do you know, I'd actually really fancy some ribs right now. Barbecue sauce ribs, that'd be great. Let's just give him a little stroke. Oh, look at him. Isn't he lovely? So Jamanra looks like she's put on some weight. It happens to everyone when you kind of settle down. Her boyfriend looks like he's, to be honest, quite lazy as well. Jamanra's a man. I keep forgetting. Okay, the Risen King. Okay, Jamanra. Nothing wrong with 2 men. There's nothing wrong with... Where do I... Okay, let's concentrate on the fight. Now, you might be wondering why I'm using Orb Storms here. But Jamanra has a lot of lightning damage. So we're going to hope we're not going to take too much lightning damage. Do you know, the worse I make that, the more I find it funny. And at this point, it's all for me. Now, I made a mistake last time, just standing in the wrong place. So I'm just going to be super careful here. Maybe take a little bit more damage than I need to. But a lot of these like little ad fights, like let's get the ads in, is really just an opportunity to, an excuse to replenish your flasks, which is very nice of them. I am, however, going to need to use one almost immediately. So the damage looks very, very decent. Assuming I've got elemental weakness on, then it's going pretty well. Elemental weakness, unfortunately, is still so expensive. But we are already down. I wonder if it's RNG as to what point this fight moves to the next stage. But can you even believe the health goes up there? I didn't realize that, and I've not seen it before. Maybe it always goes up, so it's like 66% or something. Like back up to 2/3. Which is 66% for those that didn't know. So this is all about not getting hit, which shouldn't happen. And it's a lot of it's not taking damage in this early part, because man, we are definitely going to take damage. It's inevitable damage by the end. Still can't believe I beat this punch only. That was ridiculous. That was one of the hardest things I've ever done in this game, by the way. Jamanra punch only. As long as we stay out of range, it's much easier when you're a little further away to avoid some of these attacks as well. The real danger is just getting hit more than once, but I mean, I've taken enough chip damage at this point. We're maybe down to the last 20%, but I have very, very little in the old health flask left. So this is not looking great, especially since we're getting clipped, oh my god, by almost everything, and we're going to have to drink a little more. It looks like she's about to get stunned as well. Come on. And we are empty, guys. The bar is closed. Last orders has been called. And your wife's calling. It's over. Jamanra, your wife. But the stun is clutch timing for that stun, by the way, because we needed that. We've even got enough time to replenish our energy shield. Never any doubt. I'll be honest, if that fight went on for another 30 seconds, it would have got pretty rough. She was hiding under him the whole time. And that is just lovely for them to make up like that. Oh, beautiful. Just one last little kiss. An emotional farewell for an emotionally poor drops. They did look pretty bad. And look, Decacane has changed his race. And what is she doing? Making smelly fish. Unbelievable. True psychopath. Belt is a massive upgrade from where we've been before. And look at this armor as well. 39 to spirit. A little bit of resist. And that energy shield is very nice. I'm actually leaning more towards energy shield because I really want to give it a go. And I remember only maybe once in Path of Exile, the original Path of Exile, getting, what is it, Chaos Inoculation? And having nothing but energy shield. I tell you what, that first transition to energy shield is rough. But when you get it up high enough, it's good fun. It's good fun. But I've never really got far enough in the game to make the most of it. So now we're going to be venturing a little bit further than usual. I'm looking forward to maximizing that energy shield and seeing what we can do with it. Brute Dredge is one of those guys. Once you know it, assuming you've got some DPS, it's actually very easy. Look at this little, like, trying to hide out this little encampment. They've made it way too obvious, but that's why they need heroes like me. So I've been using Overabundance. I'm going to switch it out. I'm going to go for Static Shocks. This is yet another trigger skill. We've got quite a lot of trigger skills on the old skill tree at this point, the passive point skill tree. And I want to lean into that for the extra damage. And although it's nice having multiple Thunderstorms, let's not worry about it too much. I can't believe I got hit straight off the bat there. I was lucky to survive that, to be honest, because these are almost one shot. The trick to the Mighty Silver Fist, for those that don't know, is stay really, really close. And every time you hear that, like, trigger sound, just roll towards him. And that kind of is the fight. Most of the rest of it you can kind of just tank through. When he gets to the next bit and he does that attack, that is a little bit more annoying. And when he clutches too close to the wall, that can be a little annoying as well. But otherwise, generally okay as a fight now. Now I understand it a bit better. I was so cross, I think, in one of my other runs, because it took such a long time, and he was just destroying me. But perseverance, patience, and as with a lot of these things, game knowledge. I'd be so good if that was lightning skills, but never mind. So look, skill-wise, coursing current, we know we drench. We do shocks here. I think really want to come up here for that extra shock chance. Up here, eventually we get drenched, 40% increased chance, and then we even get some extra cold damage. One of my favorite little boss rooms here, like, well, I suppose you'd call it like a sub-boss, mini-boss. I don't know what you'd call it, actually. I don't even know why it's still here. But yeah, the Brood Queen, I think, is feels like a real homage to Diablo 2 in many ways. As does a lot of this game. I mean, I think everyone loves what Diablo 2 does. I think now, like, after playing this and going back to Diablo 2, it is tough. This game just adds so much in terms of, like, diversity of builds. And, I mean, look, maybe even not as much as Diablo 2, however mad that might sound. Because Diablo 2 has a huge amount of build diversity. Although, I mean, look, there are some meta builds there, which many people rely upon. There's a huge amount of fun you can still have with the game, but this is just so fresh, Path of Exile 2, and the fact that they're, like, developing it so much. I just wish they could almost been like, I mean, this is dangerous to say, but to get Blizzard to maybe just roll their sleeves up and put their creative juices into making a video game instead of just a business. I'm doing a Warcraft 2 run at the moment, and I made the mistake of, even though it was on discount, buying Warcraft 2. I mean, I'm going to call it a demastered edition, but it is absolutely terrible. The stability is awful, and it just doesn't do anything. It doesn't make it any better. But anyway, they've got my money, even though it's only a few pounds. It's just annoying that they can't, you know, embrace what is some incredible IPs. There must be so many talented people who want to work for that company as well, for pittance. But, well, I don't know. I don't run the business, so I don't know what I'm talking about. But... And then playing Darkhaven as well. Again, I want to try and get a video out on that. It was good, but I mean, it's a very, like, rough version. like a rough idea of what an ARPG could be, but I'm still thinking that, sometimes you just get these perfect storms of developers and teams together. And I think maybe just the time that Diablo 1 and Diablo 2 were out, it was just such a great time to be making video games. I mean, I think of all the games I love, not just for nostalgia, but Baldur's Gate, Diablos. I mean, these are just, to me, absolutely legendary games, and so many games now are so like safe. I mean, I'd still play Tomb Raider, Metal Gear Solid, Gran Turismo. All of these games. Ignore that, by the way. I don't know how I got clipped by that, but that was for what is normally quite an easy fight. Yeah, don't stand in that dangerous flame pit, which I didn't think I was, but I was just maybe being a bit cool about it, a bit too Tom Cruise about the whole thing. But at least we have a lot of these games to go back to, and yeah, but this game is just if you haven't played this for whatever reason, then you really should do, because it's great fun to get into, and there's a great community as well to lean into. Now this, I have to be really careful cutting. Oh, well, it may be better off seeing how facially disfigured they were. Wow, look at that for a face upgrade. And actually, this is pretty decent. Some strength, some life. People often say to me, like, I get a little bit obsessed with uniques, and they're not quite as good as they are in the Diablo games. So you definitely can lean into rares a lot more just to buff yourself. It doesn't feel quite as dramatic a buff, I find, when you're just upping base stats, like life and resistances and stuff, but it's so core to you surviving. Now, unfortunately, maybe not at this point in the run, but they used the particular Blackjaw fight for so many different fights within the temple that I'm so sick of seeing this guy. This is like having to paint another lizard warrior, like when you've already done about 40. I actually really need to paint some more models. I find now I'm doing YouTube videos, it's so difficult to do any other hobby, because I'm having to spend an evening just doing this voiceover, for instance. And look at this, what a classic gag this. He's got his throbbing member out, and you can tell by the look on his face, he knows. Let's get the girls to touch it. I'm not a girl, I'm Storm Cruise. So let's open up the temple. Let's arouse him. Let's generate some arousal. And let's touch it. And then he has the audacity here, after we touch his throbbing red member. And now you can see where it's positioned. You'll never be able to not see where it's positioned. But now when he touched his throbbing red member, it was too much for him. He was more of like a... He lost the power once we touched. So yeah, time for him to die, I think. Actually, some solid physical damage there from that attack. I need to be a little bit careful. Resistances, I think, now are kind of okay. And the damage looks pretty good. As long as we're hitting that sweet elemental weakness, then I don't see Zakotl having too much on us here. And that's what you get. And he's trying to he tries to get to it at the very end, but we chopped his cock off. There's no other way to say it. I hope your wife has just walked into the room.
What are you watching? Why'd you watch this? I don't even understand it.
Well, we don't understand it either, but it's not going to stop us. Look at this little daycare here. I wouldn't actually mind one of these as a pet. See if we can find one to follow us around a bit later on. But Thunderstorm there, I did very briefly see. Come on. Come on. I think we've tamed him. Fully tamed. He might be dead now. I might have accidentally thunderstruck him, but he was a very naughty boy. So I had to take him back to the pound. But I couldn't be bothered. So I just electrified him. So this is the way the temple looks. I don't hate it. I don't love it. I did make a mistake. I shouldn't really be doing two things at the same time. So that's kind of my issue here. Is building the snake, as people do now, to optimize it, is one thing. And let's just have a quick look at these. I've got a feeling these might be pretty good, actually. Annoyingly, you don't get too many scrolls of wisdoms dropping. Luckily, I've got some on me. Oh, wow. Okay, so we've got some energy shield, which we want. And that spell damage. Oh, I've got triple resist gloves. That is going to be painful. Now, the worst thing about this is we do have a massive reduced... Oh, okay. Okay. The damage is well worth it. So it's got 100% increased spell damage on those gloves. But it does have reduced cast speed, which is not ideal. So I'm already finding the cast speed is quite slow. Can we just... What? What is going on here? Okay. if you just felt like I should have fought someone then, but didn't need to. What we have got, however, is some just cool one-off use room cards, which I really liked, and you can get some uniques from them. So I took this. I mean, this is 25% lightning resist and 13% lightning resist, and it basically completely balked the ring. I didn't realize that was going to happen. And here we go. Finally, we can be savior. Oh dear. Well, I think again, I think death would have been a sweet release. Just having a little play with the dog in the park here. Look at this little creature here as well. It looks like almost like a hammerhead shark. Oh, it's a triple-headed snake. Let's just instill some discipline here. So, I don't want to make any comment to pets and shock collars, because there's always someone in the comments have been like, I hate it when people get, I don't know, people are just very protective over certain people, but the jokes write themselves there. I refuse to do it for you. My time in the Planet of the Apes is over. Sorry, lad. But Patient Barrier is what I've been after for some time. So that is 150 extra energy shield. And you can see here me putting the energy shield to good use. No issue there whatsoever. Don't worry about it. Let's not talk about that. A lot of the time, my deaths were actually running related. I mean, Tom Cruise loves to sprint. And a lot of them were me being impatient and getting caught out on this sprint. I'm not going to give you a compilation of me getting killed while sprinting, but just imagine it was a lot, and it would have been very funny. Probably the best part of the video. This particular area was ridiculous. This will be now the 4th, I think, rare that I've had to fight. I mean, great for experience. The items at this point just get a little bit annoying. I've actually only died 13 times. The reason why I'm checking that out now for you, for your benefit, revealing to you my weakness, is because I imagine this is going to go very badly. This particular fight always goes quite badly for me.
The Queen of Filth.
I'm actually reading Harry Potter at the moment. I'm reading it to a feral primate in my family, don't worry. And that was my Argus Filch voice, for those that need to know how much effort I put into storytelling. This is not a great spot. I'm actually considering here, like, now I'm thinking about this, it's part of the reason you kind of get bomped by her and then get stuck is because of stun. It's one of those mechanics in this game I don't really quite get. I know people say it's so important, but is that the reason why? I'm going to say this fight is going well. Until it wasn't. There's so much damage in one go. But that's what happens.
The Queen of Filth.
Oh, lovely little stun here just to end it as well. Glorious little moment there, just to enjoy. Look at that. Absolute mass. Let's stick that little dolly in. I still think a solid front kick would have opened that. Oh, there you go. That's the Jack Reacher in me. I've not seen much of Jack Reacher. I actually really like the Tom Cruise movie versions. 48 lightning damage. We're getting up there, guys. Just be patient. But I really like the Jack Reacher movies, even though I know I've not read the books, so I know it's annoying to some people. But the series is very cool. I watched I listened to an interview with Alan Richardson recently, and he seems like such a cool guy. Like, admitting the traps of Hollywood and, you know, just being very honest about the whole thing. He seems really down to earth. This is such a good fight now. I had such a bad time the first time I fought this person, and now Kitsule. I said person because I'm not suggesting it's a male or female, by the way. I'm not looking. I'm going to keep my eyes closed for this fight. It is one of those fights you can kind of keep your eyes closed. Yeah, part of me really wants to go back and do Thorns again. Maybe do like a no movement boss fight. Oh my god, is that even going to be possible? I don't think it is. Maybe like a no dodge Thorns. I don't know. Maybe I'm making it too hard. To be honest, most people don't really care. Some runs take like 10 times longer than others. And more often than not, nobody cares. So there's like the same, if not less, views for the harder the video. So love this little like bullet hell moment here as well. I think it's very cool. It's actually quite a cool looking fight. I think they could make it harder, if I'm honest. And I don't mean like the boss doesn't need to take longer. I think just some of the attacks by the end need to be a bit more wild. Like last 10%, just really go for it. So let's try not to completely ruin this cut. Oh, I've ruined it. I've ruined it. Let's do a retake on that one. Let's run in. This is called ransacking, for those people who aren't sure. Just smashing the pots as well. Just anything of value, I'll take. Anything not, I'll smash. This actually looked a bit weird here, like the texture hadn't loaded in properly. So, yeah, curious if anyone else has seen that. Not that you'll remember, but I think it's one of the only visual bugs I've almost ever seen, by the way, in this game. So, wow. Oh my gosh. Mum, get the camera. We're on 211. And for those of you who might be thinking these are bananas, it's not a banana. I mean, look, this isn't speedrun stuff. At this point, I'm pissing around looking at the different coloured ledgers and stuff. I feel like I should probably take that with me. That looks valuable. Valuable paperweight. These are like quite nice offices. They do look like they might be quite cold. There's not enough natural light. Considering how sunny it is, you'd think they'd have a window. What is this? I've never seen that before in my life. A time-lost sapphire. Okay, wow, that looks cool. Yeah, okay, that is cool. That's cool. There's I mean, the idea of ever getting a jewel that's any good is one thing, but to get one of those that has the right combination would be something special. Nah, just anything for that headdress. Love it. You can support this video by somehow giving me that headdress, either in real life or in the game. Absolutely love that little bit as well. Finally, justice has been served. I'm curious if the voice actor for Alva is the same in Path of Exile 1 as it is in 2. They got the same person to do it. That would be cool. I am definitely taking some damage here. It's chip damage. That is a tracking move as well. And I need to stay away from the edge of the arena. It feels like sometimes watching this back, like, is this the first time this guy's ever done this fight? It really isn't. I'm just not concentrating enough. It might just be skill related. I'll be honest. This bit's fine. I don't mind this. This is actually quite good fun. I've got in passable short-term memory. I can kind of avoid most of the worst of this. And I've still got to be careful here. This poison bit, really not good at. I'll be the first person to admit that. I get hit a lot. I'm trying desperately to just get the storm to come down. And then this bit, I hate. I've been given advice on this before. Just roll. Just keep rolling. But there, I mean, yeah, I mean, I rolled into it. If I'd rolled the other way there, I would have been okay. But look, chaos resistance. Oh my god, I'm really struggling to say chaos resistance. That is an awesome ring. Pause it and I take a look. This looked pretty interesting as well. There's life, energy shield, and chaos resist. But then you've also got the opportunity to get some interesting corpse eating mechanic. I mean, I haven't learned my lesson here at all. Okay, this bit just roll away. So now we've survived what otherwise would be the worst part of the fight. The rest of it should be textbook easy stuff. I don't know why this particular fight just messes with me so much. There's an element of fatigue at this point when you've been playing because you're going to be a few hours in by this point. In my case, that is a few hours too much. And that felt like a very solid dodge, by the way. That's like a how-to dodge that particular mechanic. It definitely is worth like staying towards the end. The edge, sorry, and then just rolling at the last minute. A little bit of a concern. I mean, that is a very tight arena, but we've done very well into that first time. Okay, there's some good loot there as well. I like the look of some of that. So this is the Devouring Tiara in action for those that need to see it. Thunderstorm now. It's still not really worth using that Gem Cutter's Prism because it really just ticks it up the tiniest amount. This little lad, this little caricature, it feels a little bit like a comic book characters here. One of them having his heart carved out, of course, just like the old Peanuts comics. Now this is maybe the concern, and this is why I'm having to Tom Cruise this, just to bring them back into an area they might actually take some damage. It's fun, but the delay that I have, largely because of the unique gloves I've got, that 23% reduced casting time is bad. And that is not going to be something we're going to want for the very last boss, I'm sure. This always feels comically oversized. I'm not quite sure why they need to do it quite that size, but now they've done it, I'm not against it. Doriani here, now we're in the final part, really looks like Michael Jackson to me. There's a particular gig he did, which he got mocked for, and Doriani's definitely channeling that. But actually, this area was very easy to crack through. Lightning seems to do a really serious number on a lot of electronic, robotic kind of creatures. And actually, I think Doriani generally takes some decent damage from lightning as well. I might be wrong. We're about to find out. I always find just keeping range is the best thing you can do here. Keep range, keep to the edge of the arena where you can. Where I'm standing now is not ideal. No need to get that close, really. Mana's still a little bit of an issue, but actually getting to that first stage was very, very trivial. The damage seems to have ramped up pretty well now. I mean, I love the way that lightning shock just ripples through them. This looks so good. Elemental weakness there, you can see minus 33%. That's massively upping our damage. And with some solid equipment choices at this point, the resists are okay. I mean, we took quite a decent chunk of damage then, but we aren't taking damage consistently enough for it to be too much of a concern, because we know our energy shield will probably come back, and that's going to be important for surviving some of the big hits. I've got to say, harking back to it again, having done that punch-only run, it was just incredible how good it's made me at a lot of these fights, relative to how good I'd be otherwise. I've just learned so many of these mechanics so well. It makes such a big difference to really kind of enjoying the game. The trials and tribulations of the first time you play is something very unique, but at this point now I'm very happy not to be too troubled, certainly by things like these nonsense bosses. I've got absolutely crushed by that then. Doriani then getting trapped in his own little Lego creation. An homage here to, I'm guessing, the new Fallout series. I started watching the new Fallout series and really enjoyed it, but I don't have Prime anymore, so I can't watch anymore, but I did enjoy it. I really like this little meeting with Doriani and Deckard Cain here. It really reminds me of X-Men. These two just wildly mad characters in a cul-de-sac. So this became a little bit habitual for me, just to go in and just quickly check for the word light. It's great, the quality of life they have in these games now, for you to be able to find the items you need for things like that is really good. But every time I get a level up, I'm just checking those shops just to see if we have some kind of fabled glory. And this shrine here was really, really cool until, of course, I lost the benefit. And then when I did go back, I had this. I paused it at the moment where I was like, oh, was I recording for that? And then as soon as I got back in, I got one shot. Anyway, the Scourge of the Skies. I've got such a PTSD from this particular character, so it's always nice to dispense justice, especially lightning, because you know it's really going to hurt a bird. This giant Pidgey. There's something to be said about trying to get that stun bar to be going up a bit quicker, I think. And actually, because we're just cracking through this enough, we're already in the second stage here, where the Plagueling comes out. Plagueling is getting absolutely destroyed. Wow. This was very, very easy, by the way. There was a little bit of a concern here towards the end where I had to kind of roll away from it, but the nice thing is if you've got the Thunderstorm going down, you don't really need to do very much. We'll just not get hit, right? Love this, by the way. I mentioned this in the last video. I can't remember what it was called now. I always want to call it what is it, like the New Zealand Christmas tree, but I don't think the flowers look like that. Someone remind me in the comments, please. Some of you guys, there's always one who's a little bit of an expert on these things. I can't remember if it's not a ratatouille. But yeah, I don't want to look it up because it feels embarrassing that I've already done it once before. Clearly, at this point, it's not going in. We're cracking up that little lightning tree at the top of the passive skill point map there. Some very decent extra lightning damage. Is this my worst fight in the game? No, because it's not super, super boring, but it is not great. Something about it I just don't like. Maybe the reward as well is just really trash. It'd be nice if it was something a little bit more exciting. I'll tell you what would be good. They could make that fight brilliant if it gave you a cosmetic. Imagine that. Random cosmetic. Even once per league. Like they do in Path of Exile, I'm sure they give you loot chests for achievements in-game. Nice little level 4 support gem there. Dual resist, and look at that energy shield on that. 295 energy shield is a massive jump up. So we're actually over 1,000 energy shield now. You can see not that long ago, our life and shield was absolutely pathetic, but it ramps up very quickly. Love this little area, by the way. I mean, there's so much detail in this. It's incredible. And just before we have to fight our boss, we can get up some serious jumps up in power here, both in skill and in level. We've got a few different things here. The frustration I have with this map is just excessive. This feels like at least I've done something quite intelligent. A lot of it's luck. I'm sure there is like a certain rooms only attached to certain other rooms, but why do that? It means that the people who really care are going to meta it, and the people who don't are going to ruin it. I mean, I don't know. I don't know enough about the kind of necessity to monetize a game company, but it feels like Path of Exile panders too much to like extreme gamers, and like the longevity they'd have from the game would be just as good, maybe not as financially successful, if they made it a little bit more friendly to the average person. I've got a feeling at this point I'm talking rubbish. Let's instead concentrate on the fact that we're finally cracking through the actual mission here. We're doing something in the temple that otherwise I think we've not done before. This is fighting the Royal Architect, Tipicado. I had to take a breath there. There's a lot going on in this fight. Actually, it doesn't look like he himself is doing a huge amount of damage. As long as I'm avoiding the floor panels, which seem to be his greatest strength. Oh, that's a pretty cool skill. That's good as well, that little purple skill. All of these skills should be available for me to make videos on, by the way. Oh, that's cool as well, that little lightning, triple lightning shotgun blast. That was cool. But otherwise, finally, a boss down. And I have no idea what a crystal capacity is, but it's gone up. So we are making some progress here. The uniques are the best part of this. I kind of have to look up the price of each of them. And this is a huge one. Electric amplification is just a massive jump up. And this, my friends, is why we do it. Why we do the temples. The amount of currency you get is absolutely excessive. And it should, hopefully, with the whole, the build we've got going at the moment, make Diamora, Song of Death, pretty easy. Unfortunately, I think she's one of those fights that has the kind of scripted moments. So even if we do a significant amount of damage now, I think we're going to be in some trouble. And by trouble, I mean, I'm just going to be bored out my mind as she sinks away and I have to then run around. I think we're doing enough damage here that we can kind of take our time and kill all these creatures. I have never been hit by her rays before. He says, as that seems to like, I don't know, radiate out from from a waterfall or something. I couldn't really work out what happened there, but it was cool because it hadn't happened before. I had to be a little bit careful there. That felt a little bit sketchy. We are unfortunately taking a long time to roll and then a long time to cast. So although it feels like I'm having fun, it feels very, very stressful, like finding the moments where I've got the time to unleash another Thunderstorm. Thankfully, with two of those kind of nonsense phases long gone, we can kind of enjoy ourselves. This was absolutely mad, though, and I was really worried it was going to happen again. Oh, please, please just let me finish it. And that, if that had killed me, that would have been absolutely hilarious. But there we go. Hi, guys. Have you guys seen Moana? Moana 2? Is that a different part of the world? Sorry. Feels like everyone's ignoring me there. Uncomfortable. That's the kind of thing I would say in that situation, by the way. Look at this. Oh, wow. Increased cast speed. That is good. We're really looking for anything with lightning damage, but who would have thought that something that good could have been... What? Okay, that seems really good. What is going on here? +2 to spell skills as well, and the cast speed. I should be checking that shop more often. That is incredible. Fortunately, spoiler alert, shop's not always going to be there, but we can make use of it potentially every time we get a level up, just having a quick check back. This looks like I'm in great danger, and I probably am. But actually, casting elemental weakness there and just being a little bit more confident. And this was really cool. I don't remember this being quite that. Maybe I like hit it and ran away a bit too much. But the monster density here seems absolutely huge, and I seem to be backing into more over and over again. Damage is still good. Survivability, still not great. It's the energy shield is great, but the recharge, and we haven't done ourselves some favors with some of the skills we've got. Some of those passive skills aren't helping us at all. Look at this little friendly lad. And it looks like he might not be so friendly. Mimbok. That's cool. That feels like a knockoff brand of trainers, doesn't it? A few nice little gems there as well. And look at this. I bet almost no one's seen this before. Look at this. There's definitely a little graffiti going on. I thought it might just be the rock formation. Then I got a bit closer and I was like, it's definitely like, I don't know, houses or whatever. Can't exactly work out what they've drawn there, but I like it. This, unfortunately, is maybe my worst fight in the game. It's so bad. There's just not enough going on. And look, it's just a bit of I don't know, damage sponge. It goes on too long with not much going on. Like, even now, like, just change it to the last stage. I know, like, maybe I'm asking a bit too much of every single fight, but some of the fights in this are so good. Like, I've just cast my mind to the fights. Some of them are exceptional. This is not one of them. The only reason I do it is because I got that divine orb one time, so it now feels like I have to do it. Oh, and look at this. Wow. I mean, it literally looks like it's flowing. This is a fight I often try once, and if it doesn't work out, I just ignore it. There is a reason my smooth brain just can't move out of the way of a boss that I've fought thousands of times in a Ascendancy dungeon, but there you go. For whatever reason, I've got a little bit of free time with just one of them for a time at the start of this fight, and that made the fight quite trivial, really, because it felt like I was just kind of fighting one, and then he just got replaced. The whole like trail of ice and cold resistant, powerful minions, and this guy really just got the worst of a bad bunch, considering he's on his own. And let's get as close as we can and really enjoy this. Oh yes, cover me in soup. Krutog. We like Krutog. Krutog is cool, and it's actually quite a difficult fight as well. If you haven't got resistances, and his stomps just seem to be going the wrong kind of way, then yeah, the damage can really add up. So I do have that unpleasant charge time on my shield, so I just need to make sure I'm not taking damage too often. And look at this. Oh wow, that looked good. So I'm not quite sure what he's trying to whip me with there. Is it a body? Just a lovely lad. Kind of interested to see what his parents are like, what species he is. Not a great positioning here with that pool of sick. The pool of sick that we've got there. I kind of maybe combined puke and pool at the same time to pule, which it will now be known as. There's another like lightning pule. If you kind of like, if you are big-brained like I'm not, then I think you can probably work out which foot's coming next, then just like dodge away from it. But it's just a bit too much for me to concentrate on when I'm trying to do too much else. Too many other skills going on. One of the things Path of Exile 2 especially does quite well is you don't need like, a huge amount of skills to make a build viable. Like you can actually just do all of this with just Thunderstorm. I would definitely suggest adding elemental weakness in, but you don't need to. And to be honest, I'll be looking to automate elemental weakness soon anyway, just because the mana cost is so high. And it's a lot of extra admin as I'm fighting. First time, no great drama. And let's do the unthinkable. I had such a good time against Bird Boy #1. What is this tool, by the way? There's some questionable tools here, but that one looks like it was done by AI. That is dreadful. What is going on there? What are you going to use that for? And this, my friends, is an incredible way to go out. Dressed like that. Maybe not in this particular area, but there are actually a few, like, there is a really nice little, like, stream in this area that I think is really nice. It's actually a very, like, beautiful area. I just really hate the fact they've, like, tacked on this, like, all these kind of nonsense mechanics and stuff. And look at this. Clearly part of the same stag do. Absolute legends. And this is me, yeah, showing you how nice this place would be to have a little campsite there. Been watching a few camping videos recently, and I'm like, oh, I actually really want to like get out and do some more exploring this year. Do a bit of wild camping. I actually don't think I've ever wild camped before. Not in this country, anyway. Not in the something maybe slightly more intimidating and more maybe because I know it's illegal. But yeah, I just feels like you can be a bit more confident when you're younger and going out and doing it when you're in another country. But something about getting told off, I don't know, by a Welsh farmer that makes me absolutely terrified. More just being treated like a child, like a naughty child, maybe. Right, okay, we can get serious now. So let's reallocate this and see what we want to get. Elemental Storm, we can actually get all the way down this, and that is well worth it. So Elemental Storm, I didn't understand at all to begin with, and will see me really struggling. But the really good one at the bottom there is Multiplying Squalls. So we get 2 more storms for free. And look at this incredible ring we find as well. 14% increased lightning damage. I mean, that's actually a pretty decent find. So I'm looking for the real like jump up in damage is going to be getting the right kind of staff. Thankfully, we can filter by a lot of things we're looking for. Chiefly, extra lightning damage. And this for 5 exalts. Look at this. Spell damage, lightning damage, +4 to all lightning skills. And that is a mega jump up. And we don't need overabundance now. We've got a Thunderstorm limit of 3. And we can free up that slot. So we've got Coursing Currents, Static Shocks, and lastly Living Lightning 2 now as well. So these are all like trigger skills. And then Lightning Exposure and Shock Conduction is what we'll put on Elemental Storm. So it took me a while to work out, but then I realized, it's kind of like part of the storm. So it just adds it in to your current Thunderstorm. And my God, the damage is incredible now. So once again, I've ruined the challenge by making it a viable build. But that, my friends, is part of the joy of Path of Exile 2. I honestly think there are parts of every run that you'll struggle with. But when you get to when you just hit a certain point, especially if you've got a little bit of a plan of what you want to do, then yeah, the damage can be absolutely incredible. And I'm still super vulnerable to being killed, unfortunately. Especially when I'm being ignited, unfortunately, in this instance, which is quite a strange place to be ignited, because I can probably just lie down. But we can cast now 3 storms at the same time. And what possible concern do I have about any of these? The dross here, the chaff being cut by my scythe, my lightning scythe. There's always one little straggler there. So annoying. Completely pointless. But what a door this is. This boss fight, by the way, incredible. It's so difficult if you don't do enough damage and it heals up. That's the only bit I don't like. I don't think you need to have that like cheesy irritation. And I cannot time that elemental weakness at all. So I'm just gonna take my apology and just move on from it. But the prisoner here is taking the damage. The damage is so good. I need to get by ballista, because this is going to be over pretty quickly. Let's just stand by this ballista, I think. Oosh. Nice. Are we even going to get another stage? We need to be by another ballista. This is the important one, really. Look at this. He's already down. Okay. I actually thought that might be over then. Do we need to use it one more time? Use the ballista. Oh my gosh, okay. That's so tense, that bit. And look at this really weird bug I got. The game did not like me doing that quickly. There's a weird like mist above it that's not really rendering properly, but it's quite cool, like a spirit world. Now, unfortunately, the church has closed the shop and has tricked me. But what I can do is cast the Thunderstorm and then walk through like an absolute boss. Sorry to rain on your parade. I think I'd say something like that.
What did he say? I don't know. I don't speak Austrian.
What is going on here? That is the rudest thing I've ever seen written in a game. Just someone's just done a picture of someone they don't like, called him an absolute hunt by the looks of it. More things like that in games, by the way. Graffiti, specific graffiti. Oh, when look at this, as if this area wasn't already absolutely glorious. The nice thing about this part of the game is you kind of hit your stride slightly. I always find at this point, like it's such a great environment just to wander around. But you've got really used to the skills now. You're at that point where you've got a few like later skill levels and stuff like that, like support gems. You're getting up in your passive tree, and all of a sudden, like things just click, and you can do some real damage. It's a shame in many ways because some of these fights are really, really tough if you aren't doing enough damage and don't have the kind of resistances. But now I'm just like I build towards these things, and I know, look, as long as I'm rocking at least 50% resist all, most of the fights should be okay. I still am not 100% sure on. And I watched quite a good Lollicole video on just expectations of how to survive. That's probably not a great way of describing it, but it's interesting, like how to think about different mechanics and armor and evasion, things like that. Some of these guys just know so much more than I do. Hopefully you're not here to learn anything, because if anything, I'm likely to unteach you. See, I didn't even know what the word would be, but this is my unteaching class. Lightning quick, that was quick. Solid damage increase there. Lightning bolt, what is going on there? But for Thunderstorm now, oh, with that, yeah, I mean, that's decent. I mean, it still doesn't feel like it's a huge amount of damage. Oh, loving the mana there. Completely done on purpose. A Benedict does not have a huge amount of health, but he can do a lot of damage if you're not careful. So I may be standing a little bit too close to him. I think I probably should be in the middle here, shouldn't I? And now we can do a little bit of a runaway. Oh, it's annoying we can't damage him here. Look at this. I mean, look, the guy doesn't stand a chance. He's already having to like suffer through his arena change, which is just another opportunity for me to do damage. Oh wow! when he lets me do damage, it's good. This, by the way, is just such fun. It's like a little maze. You see the living lightning there, chasing me around. Not really mention that too much. I'm not sure how much damage that really does, but it definitely helps to like just to add up the damage that we're doing, especially against single target like that. Love that, by the way. Absolutely love it. Still not sure where he jumps from. Kind of biplane or glider. Maybe a biplane from Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Who knows? Crossover coming soon. That definitely didn't look quite right there. Anyway. Oh no, please. We're going to skip a lot of that nonsense. Let's get in to the final moment. This is we're actually getting... Look, I've tried my best here, guys, to cut the length of the campaign down. I don't know how many times you want to see it again. I still enjoy... I mean, to a degree, I don't enjoy editing it, but I enjoy playing it still. I can imagine some people who really put some proper hours in. I maybe only have about 250, 300 hours in Path of Exile 2. Noob stats. I spend too much time looking at these like cool houses and think, wow, these are like riverside properties. That's where you want to live, man. That's cool. I mean, there's a lot of like wild boar around. You could hunt them to extinction, though. What do we want to do with a 4-slot Thunderstorm? Oh gosh, that was brutal. Paths. Oh, I can't even put a path down the middle. I just don't get it. I mean, at least that seems to have worked out. But why can I not just put a room there? It's so frustrating. I think because it's not logical, it's just, well, maybe there's a logic to it, but it's like, you know, The Genius. If you've ever watched that Korean TV, it's like, man, it just gets to a point where it's a little bit overcomplicated. Oh, this poor guy as well. Oh my gosh. Just the worst youth hostel he's ever stayed at. Up to level 13. What? So up to 65 damage. I tell you what, it is ramping up quite a lot every skill level. So what do we want to do for that final slot though? I mean, this chance to shock. I'm actually just really not sure. There's a lot of like skill gems which do things like, oh, prevents shock from happening. So you've got to be quite careful about how you like mix some of these together, because you can totally like balk what you're trying to achieve through one. You're like, oh, this will be really, really good, but actually you realize another support gem. Whoa there. This is me again, not concentrating. Unbelievable that I was down to 1 life then, by the way. What a clip. Look at this. Oh my god, that is incredible. So that's got increased rarity twice as a modifier. So resists, some of them good. Chaos is okay at this point. There's work to be done, and a lot of that is equipment based. So let's just, before we fight the final guy, I think we probably want to just go for survivability. Let's head down this way for insightfulness. That gives us quite a significant energy shield bump, and I think we're ready. Oh, look at this little guy outside. Little teaser. Anyway, now we've got almost 1,000 life, almost 1,500 shield. Is Tavakai even going to be a problem for me? Let's see. Let's find out. This, like, chatting beforehand, oh my god. It's so unnecessary. Nobody wants it. I understand, like, oh man, that is cool, by the way. I swear every time I fight him, it feels like there's new mechanics that I've never seen before. Maybe because it normally just cracked through this so quickly. Oh, we got to go quick. We got to go quick. We've got to get into position. This is one of the great pleasures of this game as well. Getting run over in the ceiling, fall on me. Stage 2, the Tavakai fight. The damage he's taking is ridiculous, by the way. Am I actually having fun? I think I am. It's like for the first time. No, this is just cool. It's nice not to have to worry with all of these spiky mechanics, because I'd be really struggling right now. And we're on the final stage. The emotional wreck that is Tavakai, the emo guitarist. Solo album out soon. I do think the camera here being like mostly on the foliage, the gardening's very nice, but it'd be nice if they kind of centered the camera slightly more on the arena. Oh, and look at this. This looks like he's having a little sip. He's having a little sip. Oh, bless him. Thirsty boy. So look, for the first time, you'll see me play some of the preludes. I don't remember exactly what they're called. They're like the acts in between acts. There's a lot of like recycled content, but there is an incredible amount of new environments. I mean, glorious amount of new environments. Maybe to people who spend a lot of time mapping, it's familiar fare, but for me, this is all like super cool. I've only ever done this once before with my wolf only run. I plan to like release that as like another video, but I never bothered. I can't tell you why. It was quite good stuff, but I think most of the time when you do like a sequel to a video, it never really performs very well. Bit of like a insider scoop there to the life of a YouTuber, but a one-parter is exponentially more successful than a two-parter. And it feels a little bit like you complete the story here. Now, Siora, the first time, was a very, very difficult fight, but I was a lot more melee focused then, and I think staying away is going to be the key. But the damage isn't really as good as I want it to be, and I don't even know what I'm supposed to be doing here. Okay, that felt like it was maybe just okay, I'm not even meant to be here. I thought that was where I was meant to stand. Let's not worry about it. Don't overthink it. Taking a lot of damage. we really need to sort out an energy shield recharge. We're just without an energy shield for so much of the fight, and it's the biggest part of our defense. Now this could get sketchy towards the end here. Oh, nice. Okay, the damage seems to ramp up quite significantly there. I really like this little area here as well. This rune cellar is so good. I spent ages here. I was like, which one should I buy? And then I realized I could just buy them all for like 2,000. It just, yeah, it's definitely worth it for like, I don't know, 20k or whatever. It's well worth. Just especially a new league wise, just giving yourself as much leg room when it comes to rune use. And this boss looks so cool as well. It's the second son of the dehydrated single mother from Act 2. This son, unfortunately, plays League of Legends, not World of Warcraft. I don't know what's worse. I tried to play League of Legends the other day, and it is a great game, but I don't know. I find it quite draining emotionally to play, for whatever reason. Now, there's a lot going on in terms of spiky arenas here, but I'm not really concentrating too much. I feel like I can out DPS him. It's nice that he's kind of like an icy equivalent. I think the arena is actually very cool, but I think the arena needs to be a little bit more punishing there. And there's me prepping to fight old Candlemas, but instead it's Ornstein and Smo. I'm actually drinking from a Smo cup here, this tankard you can see here. It was a little bit too expensive for me to reveal to anyone how much I paid, but I saw it and I was like, oh my god, it's so cool. I actually saw originally like Harry Potter once in a shop in London, like one of those really like tourist shops in London, and it was so expensive. But I looked at the company and saw if they had any other licenses, and they had Dark Souls, so that's all you need for me to part with my money, is a license like that. Now the big jump up here is shock conduction too. It's from supported skills, always shock drenched targets. I'm a drencher, what can I say? And what was quite telling is as soon as I got this, the damage seemed to be so much more than we'd had before. And the damage was already pretty good. Interesting room this. I wouldn't necessarily have a dedicated room in my mansion for that. But we've got both Asinia and Dave here who've decided to like rebrand themselves. Fighting them both at the same time like this is actually a very cool idea. And I love the fact that they just get to have fun like renaming characters again. Wulfric, by the way, is just a badass name. Absolutely badass name. Asinia, unfortunately, did not last. I actually don't remember her name. But yeah, Wulfric and Asinia version 2 didn't do very well. Unfortunately, they've caught me at a healthy moment in my damage. Now, what do we want to use this on? Mana Remnants? Elemental Weakness seems very decent. Eventually, I think Mana Remnants is going to be very important, just not just yet. This is one of my favorite environments in the game, by the way. This kind of like Swiss alpine village, I think looks incredible. How they shipped the elephant tortoises up here, we'll never know. Maybe this is where they're originally from, because they look suited to mountain climbing. So I don't know why you have to ruin it. I don't know why do you have to ruin it? Trying to be silly, trying to be funny, aren't you? Someone said one of my videos that I just like I'm desperately trying to be funny all the time. It's kind of true. This seemed like it was really good. I wasn't 100%. I did put it on and I felt like I was losing a little bit too much in terms of like life and stuff. I think the thing is I don't necessarily want to be forced to be dropping that shot ground, because I don't really want to be in battle. And Kaltenhalt is also, I mean, look, Cold Thorns. Okay, you had me at cold. But Cold Thorns, that's cool. So they've definitely added a huge amount more to Thorns, so I think it might be worth revisiting it. Because I've only ever done the first 3 acts with Thorns before. Yeah, so it'd be great to like go through the game more with some of the new items and mechanics and stuff. From what I hear, it's a lot easier, so maybe we'll try and find a challenge in there somehow. Oh, I actually didn't realize she dropped another gem cross skull as well, which is nice. So this was like one of my cheesiest locations. There was a really tough room here but I could cheese it because Thunderstorms, because for whatever reason, jump over the wall here. So I could farm this up, and you can see how much damage I'm not doing, and why I'm so grateful that I can do kind of 750,000 damage from a safe distance. But the temples were actually, like, at this point, getting a little bit boring for me, I've got to admit. This was a cool room, though, the first time I've ever seen this. So I wasn't sure if you could get, like, multiple. It wasn't super clear to me, but the idea of getting increased attack speed seems like a no-brainer. What I didn't realise when I did this is that it's not permanent, it's just until you die, so maybe I should have been a little bit more careful. 8% for free, that's very good. Now, should we be concerned? I mean, to be honest, the guy is lacking in basic vitamins being in this cave, so... I don't hate the idea that they've reused it. I do think there should be 3 of them in here. That would be absolutely hilarious. Next up, we've got Rakar, who actually is kind of like a unique boss. Unfortunately, he's got that incredible ability to chill once again. Just a chill character. And yeah, that's one of the things that really could one-shot me quite easily, I think. Especially if I've just taken some silly chip damage. Again, how I'm meant to be dodging that, I'm really not sure. But there's some cool mechanics in this fight, most of which I'm able to bypass by out-DPSing him. I mean, I'm just getting hit by everything, I'm guessing, but does it matter? And then one of my favourite quest rewards is a shop of unique items. So you got to go back to the marketplace and be like, what's worth a lot? This one to me seemed amazing. Gain 31% of damage as extra chaos damage. You do lose a lot of reduced global defenses, but for all that extra chaos damage, it seemed insane. The problem is it's so difficult to know every item in this. There might be some super obvious, why didn't you put this item on? I mean, it's not like I wasn't looking for it, but it's also quite difficult to know, like, what's going to spawn, what affixes are going to spawn on what equipment. And I mean, look, part of me could just be a little bit more like, oh, let's just revise it. Let's look up, I know, like, PoE, DB, is it? But I don't really want to be that kind of guy. Just want to enjoy it, find these things out. And if the damage is really bad, then I do a lot more research. Lovely little study here. And look, Murderface. Murderface, I think, was like one of those classic, the best enemy champion names. I'm so glad I found my own Murderface the Filthy. These two, for whatever reason, the priest and priestess here, I never really find them too difficult. I'm sure moves are happening, but I don't seem to be getting hit by anything. Maybe I am a little bit. But the damage output I've got here, and I found this before with my wolf only, because the damage I was doing then was absolutely excessive. But yeah, they just weren't lasting. And they're like doing these little, like, tiny single attacks. I mean, look at this. This is nowhere near. You should be filling up the arena at this point. I know this is only temporary stuff. And this is a little, like, cool little doodad. Again, this actually reminds me a bit of Elden Ring. I should play Elden Ring, actually. No, I never finished Elden Ring. I put quite a few hours into it, definitely. Just checked, and it's over 100 hours. That's not too bad. But there's a lot more to explore there. I think I'd quite like to do a, like, summon only. I mean, I'm sure it's been done. You can guarantee any idea with souls has been done already by about 4 or 5 different people, and by 4 or 5 more skillful people, but I would quite enjoy doing that, I think. My only concern is that it's a game that really benefits from a huge amount of game knowledge, and I don't have that. Breath of Lightning. Wow, okay. More damage penetration. Ooh, and look at that, satisfaction. Vaughn's the Fell Flame. I mean, come on. This, like, recycled guy. Get out of here. It's getting too easy. Let's take Alama's Disgrace for all these debuffs. Nah, I'm a pussy. Let's take Tabana's Boom. Sounds a bit like a bum, like a silly way of saying bum. Tabana's Boom, and look at that, resistances. Pretty good, actually, because I think we're minus 30 debuff, maybe minus 40. I've got to say, this is a badass name. Elzara, the Cobra Lord. I mean, this guy should be summoning 5,000 Cobras. Imagine if this was like look, this is an optional fight, but this will summon 5,000 Cobras. And this will probably crash your computer. If you can't deal with them, if you can't do enough DPS, it actively crashes. I actually don't mind, like, I don't know, maybe it feels like a bit meta. But when they did that in like Metal Gear Solid, where you have to switch your controller to like player 2, that kind of stuff, incredible. And look at this like writhing worm, blood bilge. I did not enjoy that. And this was quite funny, the devouring tiara here. I wasn't quite sure exactly how this fight was going to go, so I thought, is it worth me just consuming all these? Just save me having to fight them? Where is it? This is me like looking for it. What is it that does that? Ah, there it is. Consume a corpse every 3 seconds. I'm guessing you can consume all of them to know where he starts and maybe, like, I don't know, get some extra damage in at the very start of the fight. I'm not sure we'll need it. The damage we're doing is so excessive. The only way we're really going to die is if we just get caught off by some mechanics. The main issue I think with Thunderstorm is a lot of noise going on all the time. Sometimes it's very difficult to see what's going on, what the enemy's doing. Like, I'm trying to see this guy's attacks. I mean, should I be out of this area or in it? Great game knowledge at this point. This all feels quite new to me, so. Whoa, that was a lot of damage. That was incredible. That was over 3,000 damage I calculated that as. So yeah, that's the bullshit mechanic that you might have to go up against. And that's it. We get a little cushion as a reward. So energy shield now is becoming a bit of an issue, mainly recharge rate. So let's remove all this chance to shock, because we don't need chance to shock. We're 100% shocking now. Let's get this lightning damage shock duel going. And my friends, look at it. We're actually at a map device. And this is what it looks like. We're here. Wow, I'm super excited to get into this. I spent a long time like looking for a map online. Then I didn't realize it's RNG and it's different for everyone. But it's just good fun here just to have a look around and see what's going on. Now, I'm not going to go through too much of these maps. I'll give you like very, very quick highlights. I had no idea what I was doing. So I was like putting 2 maps in, being like, oh, can you just put 4 maps in at the same time? No. So you get these little like tablets. You put them into that like map square. And then you can also put other tablets on top of that to add further modifiers. And of course, with maps, they work like items. They come in different rarities. And the higher rarity, the harder it's going to be. But this environment looks really good, I thought. And then I realized it's going to be a cousin of Torgal. We'll see what he's got that's different from usual. We should expect to see a silly slice and then a head bash to begin with. I hope they haven't changed any of that. Nice, comfortable. Looks like it's fire as well. We've got pretty decent fire resist at this point. Worth noting that the elemental debuff we've got now is part of the blasphemy skill gem. So that applies the debuff now in an aura around us. But unfortunately, it's not quite as effective as it normally is. So if you look just below the title, you can see there, minus 16%. It's too late. It's gone. Let's rewind. Boss down, map completed. Let's get straight into the next one. At this point, I was kind of like just cracking through the maps just to see what kind of things we could see. I had some really, really irritating crashes as well. And when it crashes on maps, which seem to happen a lot more often than ever before, the map gets lost, which is just really annoying when you kind of, even at the early point, when you slightly juice the map up. It's actually quite good fun fighting some of these bosses in maybe same, maybe different environments. And we didn't actually do the Forge boss in the original campaign, so it's nice to get a chance to do him now. This feels like thematically a good boss fight as well. The idea of like cooling this lava guy down, the living furnace, with my Thunderstorm. Let's drench him down. He was a bit of a dick to begin with, but I got him pretty cool in the end. That's quite good. I don't know why he's everyone's Arnold Schwarzenegger. I can't do a Tom Cruise voice. That's probably why. Oh, nice little steel plate as well. Oh, they just look so good. The uniques are so good. And I tell you what, this one was really good. This map was nothing but gold, which was super, super cool. And this was the very end of it. I got over 400,000 gold from this map alone. Look at this. We're finding some like really interesting items here. I I found there wasn't enough fine selections. Oh, wait. I stand corrected. A fine selection of meats. Oh, not sure if I'd want to be served by this person. Oh, God. Oh, nice. Little death location as well. Block the bridge. Thanks, love. That's the way her legs went up in the air then. But it's really good fun, like fighting a lot of these guys in different arenas, and some of the environments are pretty cool. I really like this as like a base location, except for that gaping hole in the wall. Would not like that so much. But these like huge open environments are really good as well. And it's nice actually to get a chance with a like beefed up character fighting some of these bosses that might have given me a little bit of stress beforehand. This was a big moment. Orb of chance.
And it's gone.
Yeah, well, maybe at some point. 88 to 102 there as well. That's a pretty decent jump. Oh, wow, over 1,000 damage now for the skill, which is cool. So the exit has opened. What does that mean? Well, actually, I'm doing a trial. So I've got to fight these two lads again, and I thought, oh, actually, yeah, that makes sense. Maybe they are just bosses from something else I haven't seen yet. And it happened to be the second part of the trial of Sakamas. Unfortunately, we took a huge amount of damage at the very end there, which didn't bode well for the third part, which ended up being insanely difficult comparative to what we've done before. So the old classic do a move and then roll away was put to great use. But you can see here, for the final Scorpion boss, I was not in great shape. We have fought a Shah before in one of the Prelude acts, but it was over much quicker than this. And there were some moves which just seemed to me undodgeable. Explain to me what I'm supposed to do here. That's probably the mistake there, just rolling. Yeah, and I think I just ended up rolling into it. That was so boring having to got so far. Even Shaggy Bite, I discovered in the Abyss, couldn't cheer me up. I hate how much time you can sink into those trials for nothing. And I was getting a little bit tired of fighting the same guys, the same bosses over and over again. I did, however, find a Divine Orb, and you can see how close, how these two different temples they seem to be trying to complete at the same time. Looking quite intimidating. This is quite good fun as well. I mean, Ghost Wraith there is actually pretty, I mean, it looks really cool. I'm probably not going to wear it, but I know it's worth something at least. So anything I'm getting now, I'm either storing or I'm selling. There was actually a huge part of Act 4, which I hadn't done yet. Some of them, the rewards, not really appropriate for my level. But at least I could crack through it very quickly. And I realized, basically, because I think I watched a video that said, make sure you've got at least 24 skill points from missions and stuff, and I'd got 20, so there was clearly quite a big amount I was missing. And I don't think I've ever seen these tattoos before, but they give you 5 resists, or each of them 5 different resists, so very, very useful for survivability. Penetration, well, unfortunately I can't get both of these. We'll go for the penetration. That's what she said. So look, let's upgrade some equipment. Look at these boots. Those resistances are incredible for the energy shield. It's got the sockets corrupted, plus 20%. A belt, huge fire resist, huge lightning resist, life and mana. And then lastly, the helm. Triple resist, but massive energy shield on top of it too. And then the last big one, the Divine Orb. Pause the video now. This is incredible. I shopped for ages for this. Plus 6 to the level of all lightning skill spells should be enough. But it's the extra lightning damage, extra fire damage. Man, it's just absolutely glorious. And our damage is shot up by about 80% thanks to all of that. Also, because we're a high level, we've got Elemental Storm there, you saw, up to level 4. And we've managed to loop all the way around, finally, to get to the Architect's Chamber. Last thing we're looking for here is faster start of energy shield recharge, which we find on that glorious item there. I won't go into the details because some of you guys aren't super interested in the equipment, but I'm making sure I'm trying to show everything so you can see. If you want to pause it and have a look to see what I've got, because some people want to do that. We are now, friends, over level 75. In fact, I think I'm about 79. This was not easy by any means, but we are finally fighting the Royal Architect at the appropriate level that we need to be to progress towards Atziri's fight. This felt a little bit more stressful than before because I really didn't want to die. But actually the damage I was doing, mainly thanks to the fact I just went on such a big shopping spree, was very, very solid. I think he's getting Caught up in his own spin move there. Oh, that looks cool. And yes, very nice. Crap loot, but we've done it. We've got full access. We can now place the Royal Access Chamber. Oh no. Why doesn't it let me just put it anywhere? Now, do I put it here or here? This is what I absolutely hate about this. I've already stressed myself out enough. Okay, I think because we can place 3, if we just put it in the corner, we should just be able to make a line down. And then there's a few options here. Hopefully at least one of them will be able to get there and use that access chamber. And this is the bit that's going to stress me out. I think we're going to have to close it. What's going to happen? Okay, it's bad, but it's not too horrific. Recoverable. And basically all I'm pumping now is that energy shield recharge delay. And we've got it down from 4 seconds to 1.6. The last piece of equipment we're really lacking is the amulet. And I was able to find this guy for 5 exalts. And doing some instilling, which I've never done before, add in essence illusion for some more energy shield recharge rate. Now down to 1.45 seconds, which feels like it should be good enough for endgame. And for whatever reason, this came together in the next temple. I mean, look, this is going to be stressful. There's a gauntlet to get through before we even get there. Let's get a headhunter.
And it's gone.
maybe next video. I don't know what the chances of that actually happening, but it's like 1%, but we'll keep trying. Luckily, a lot of the rooms that are down this like pathway to get to the access chamber are all the bonus rooms I got. So none of them had any creatures in and actually had loads of great stuff. And then I was ready for whatever boss was coming here. And I was like, what is going on? Story? So anyway, they both just, I don't know, gone to the toilet in this room. And all of a sudden, it's done. And here we are, guys, we did it. We got to it. My heart rate was unhealthy at this point because I knew how badly wrong this could go. And then I saw this. Are you serious? What is this, OnlyFans? Let's wash the filth from the streets here. I've seen enough women in baths in this game to know they can't be trusted. So I've got no idea what's coming here. But my resists are very good. My shield is very intimidating. And it does recharge quickly, so we should, as long as we stay out of damage, some major like damage skills, then we should be okay. Let's keep our range. Damage looks good. I'm pleased with this. Okay, I don't know what we're supposed to do to avoid that. Oh, you can roll over it, that's fine. Okay, still very stressful. It's so difficult to see what's going on with this thunderstorm. The living lightning as well. It's just such a lightning noise going on. I can't really see if the spell's coming. Looks like she's cast her own lightning storm there. Okay, we got some ads coming in. What's going on? These priests. Okay, we can take out this side at least. And the other side looks like it's gone. Okay, there's a little blood beams coming down there in the channels we need to be careful of. Oh, that looks like a dangerous move. Not really taking too much damage at this point, which is good. Can't really see too much going on. Okay, what are these? What are these? Maybe just focus one of them down. He's gone. Okay, I think we actually took her out. Oh my god, my heart. We're in a good spot. We could wait until that recharges. We're not going to. Let's go. Oh my, how many stages are there to this boss? Come on, we've got this. Just Thunderstorm at this point, guys, of course. Here we go. Thunderstorm. Oh my god, she's quick. Okay, and this is like early melee stage. God, we haven't even got a shield down. This is going to be tough, I can tell. Okay, the damage is looking really good. Just got to be really careful of any ridiculous one-shot. Oh, I bet that's a one-shot. Okay, this is good. This is good. I'll be careful of any exploding auras and stuff. Is that going to be one? Okay, there's a few coming down here. Damage still looks pretty decent. Oh gosh, okay. I can't avoid these. I can't avoid them. Oh my god, the damage. No, not like this, please. Okay, well, I think we need to get get in close. I can barely talk. This is stress like I've never known. What? How am I supposed to dodge this here? This tiny little arena. This is looking really good. Dodge over that. Okay, this is going well. We need to dodge over this one. Okay, I can see the shot going up here. 92, 93, 94. We might be able to shock and then finish this. She's shocked. Okay, must be third stage. Not taking any damage. Get out of the way of this. Oh my god, no, not like this. No, no, right at the end, please. What's going on? I can't do any damage. What am I missing? What am I missing? Oh my god, I'm down to like 70 life. Right, just concentrate. Get the energy shield back. What is going on? She's not taking any damage. What am I missing? Is there somewhere in the arena I need to be hitting? Is there a lever? Can I leave the arena or something? What is going on? Okay, at least my life's coming back. Now this was the saddest moment of the run. There's a bug, unfortunately, with Atziri when you fight her. And regardless of what I did now, it will be impossible for me to do any damage. I looked it up, and there's a lot of people, unfortunately, getting stuck in that particular phase. And yep, there's nothing you can do but retry. I thought, well, maybe if I stand in here, maybe I need to do damage next to her. Nothing. 0 damage. Invulnerable. So I just had to look at this eye and then come to terms with the fact that the adventure was probably over, unfortunately, before I wanted to. I played for 1 day, 15 hours, 54 minutes. So wow, almost 1 day, 16 hours. And I died 46 times. Half of those you've seen, the other half being running and being knocked over and unceremoniously kicked to death. But I think we just have to sit here now, guys, and know that the journey was a valiant one. And unfortunately, just because we're in early access, there's not much we can do about it. So I've been cruelly put back into an empty map here. And it looks like I can walk back in. I'm pretty certain from what I've read. Oh, hold on. Okay, this is some bullshit, okay, but if we could just have another go, then I'm more than happy to do it again, to be honest, rather than have to like rerun a temple that's going to get destroyed after this. Okay, this is already looking like it's a tougher fight for whatever reason. Right, it doesn't matter, just got to lock in. Stay at range, that seemed to work. Mana is an issue. Okay, we've got all these ads. The last time I think I just got her health down quickly enough. But I can't even pick her out in the crowd. Let's just focus on this red one. Is she sharing damage with these creatures? I can't tell. This doesn't seem to be going nearly as well as the first time. It's a cursed run. Just ignore him. Just ignore it. We'll just try and do damage where we can. Alright, definitely not as smooth as the first time, but we're in the second stage here. I'm going to drink the mana potion as well. Can't be bothered to wait. I've got to just keep the adrenaline going. Shield down, a lot more comfortable this time. Okay, is that the... Yeah, that's a... That it feels like it could be a one-shot, that move. We're back in it, though. Just got to stay focused. Really hope that bug doesn't come back. If we can even get there again. A nice little melee. Be careful there. Oh my god. It's so stressful. Not knowing how much damage this could do. And the fact that we're on like a level 80. Okay, better this time. We know the ignite's coming. This is tough. What the hell? Okay. We've got a slightly bigger arena here, but it's so cramped. Okay, dodge these. We're going to get hit by a few of them, but that's fine. What is that? Okay. Get out of it. What? Like a double red one-shot attack there. Wait, the damage? I've not even been looking at her. Are we at the same bug stage? No, this looks like... Are we into stage 3? Oh, please let stage 3 be easy. Yes, thank you so much. Oh my god, it's over. Drop that. Who cares? We did it. We did it. Wow. Okay, my heart. Well, I'm never going to financially recover from this. This is the toughness. Yeah, destroy it. Absolutely. Well, was there ever a doubt? Oh, that looks incredible. Let's pick up. That's. Oh, look at this. Half of those, I don't even know what they do. Who cares? We're in the end game, where we can finally say goodbye to Storm Cruise. This is what the temple looks like, by the way. I'll have a look, and I'll close the temple in front of your eyes to see what would have happened if it didn't give me another chance there. Oh my god, can you imagine? So boys, do you remember why we're doing this? The bounty, of course, claimed but 2 days after Lee's start by boys. Can you believe it? Thosson. I don't even know who Thosson is, but well played. They did it in a ludicrous time of 1 day, 18 hours and 50 minutes. Brothers, nail-bitingly close. I did it in 65 days, 17 hours and 57 minutes. So I'm leaving you with the words, Storm Cruise.
It means so much to me to be here. It means so much that you want to see this movie and that you allow me to entertain you.
And it's gone.